We have official confirmation that Dragon has undocked from the space station, and you can now see it pushing away from the space station as part of those undock burns. The official undock time for today was 11:30 a.m. Central Time at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as the space station traveled across the Northeast Indian Ocean west of Indonesia.
Dragon departure burn 0 complete.
Following those two brief undocking burns, there was a departure burn 0 that lasted approximately 16 seconds and just completed away from the space station. Coming up in about 4 minutes, we will have departure burn 1, which will last approximately 21 seconds and help move the vehicle beyond the keep out sphere. Invisible 200-meter line centered on the space station that is monitored by flight controllers to govern vehicles approaching and departing the space station. About 13 minutes after exiting the keep out sphere, Dragon will then exit the approach ellipsoid. The approach ellipsoid is another imaginary shape, this time a three-dimensional.
ISS thrusters are enabled.
Copy. ISS thrusters enabled. Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event? WBTS, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Raul Martinez.
And Raul, we have you loud and clear. The International Space Station.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, guys.
It'll be great to talk to you as well.
Okay, Stephen, I want to start with you. Expedition 69. Talk about your mission, where you are, and what you're hoping to accomplish right now.
The science we do up here, there's hundreds of experiments going on at any given time. We sort of maintain this laboratory, but we're also part of the experiments as well. And we help facilitate experiments, and this allows the research that goes on, which is really designed to make life better on Earth.
People who have never been to space, what it's like up there, what the experience is like. I mean,
yeah, it's just truly, I feel truly lucky to get to have this experience. It's amazing getting to be up here. Is different. We're always doing different things, whether it's scientific research or taking care of ourselves. It's every day is just different, and that's part of what makes it so much fun.
Stephen, I mean, you've had an interesting path to be, and then you move on to become an astronaut. I mean, was this all part of the plan? I mean, how
I didn't plan on much of anything, I guess, but you know, when you're a little kid and people are walking on the moon, but I had the opportunity to apply through the Navy back in starting in 1998, and I basically applied, and I was incredibly fortunate and incredibly lucky to have. I guess I had done nothing to preclude the opportunity, and that's sort of one of the things. You know, if you keep your eyes open, your ears open, you never know what opportunities you might have ahead of you.
because of where you are right now, but do you ever think long term, is this what you want to continue to do? Do you have different kind of plans? Is space kind of what is your goal from as well? But I mean, this has to be quite the adventure. And where do you want to take this?
It's pretty amazing. You know, all my earlier incredible. I have incredible fortune being with an amazing crew, a great group of people. So I think that makes the experience really, really enjoyable. I do. We'll get home. We'll see what we want to do next after that.
Woody, things that are difficult up there, and for you, outside of the challenges, the difficult tasks that you have to do every day, the concerns, what's the most exciting part of it? And I can.
Well, one that I've really enjoyed, we actually just a couple weeks ago did a couple of spacewalks. Steve and myself installed some new solar arrays. An enormous team on the ground that does a remarkable amount of preparation, getting ready for these spacewalks, planning them, running them in the neutral buoyancy lab in Houston to make sure that procedures are ready. But ultimately, you know, going outside where there are some objective really super rewarding.
So I have to ask you, Hassett High School, the Skippers. What was it like growing up there? Maybe a favorite place to go if you ever come back to visit. The thing you miss the most when it comes.
It was an incredible privilege growing up in Cohasset when I did. I always go back. I like the calm. Obviously the beaches, and that sort of those sandy granite beaches is what I miss down in Texas. That's something I to have the opportunity to grow up, and it's always nice to go back and visit.
Do you still have family out there? I mean, we're in Massachusetts. You want to give a shout out to any
I got a lot of family still up there, not only in Cohasset, but in Hanover and sort of the whole area. I've got relatives, and obviously I have friends all over New England. Back and visit, and I'm looking for the opportunity to get back up there in the fall. I was hoping that we'd be back celebrating a couple championships, but this past couple seasons haven't worked out. There's still hope for the Sox, though.
We're keeping up hope here as well. It's funny. I mean, are you still a Sox fan? Huh? You still keep up with it? Can you keep up with it up in space?
Not as much as we'd like, probably. We're about 4 hours ahead of y'all as far as our being awake time. So games tend to start when I'm already asleep. So I don't tend to stay up and watch games. And so I just keep track of it that way.
So what do you, you're a graduate of MIT, both of you guys are. What was your experience like in Massachusetts from the Bay State?
Yeah, actually, to this day, I've spent more of my life in Boston than in any other city. I went to MIT as an undergrad, spent 4 years there, and then later returned many. Such a wonderful place. I always say it's both young and old at the same time. It's got so much amazing history, and then it's also a college town. That combination, and just loved all the time I spent in Boston.
Stephen, how about you? MIT, what was it like back then? I mean, from there, back when you were a student?
That Boston has always had that, even when I was growing up, that sort of that youthful energy, but also the tremendous history. And I think Boston is also a great walking city. So having the ability to walk across the city, I did a lot of that when I was a graduate student at MIT. Way up Mass Ave once or twice. I'm not sure they enjoyed that walk as much as I did.
Guys, it was a real privilege. Thank you so much for doing this. Ties to Massachusetts, a real privilege. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Concludes the WBTS portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from AccuWeather.
Christina, welcome aboard the International Space Station. We have you loud and clear.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Morning, or it's pretty exciting to talk about all of this, and let's get going with a question for both of you. Now, how would you describe life on the International Space before?